Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another day of fantastic action here at Beyond the Summit. I'm LD, and I'm joined here today by Pyrian Flax from Beyond the Summit. We are casting Orange Esports versus the Squids. What is their name again exactly? It's such a...
Mineski? Miniski? Las Piñas Spiratus.
Mineski Las Piñas Squids. I'm not sure exactly who they are. They're somewhat of a lesser-known Pinoy team. I'm not sure if they're actually affiliated with Mineski. Mineski does do a lot in the Philippines. They're involved with a lot of land centers and teams, so they may be sort of like a farm team. Obviously, it's not the main Mineski team, but either way, they have a tall order ahead of them. You're, of course, watching the GEST Dota 2 competition. We just got done casting the GMPGL Malaysia qualifier, which feeds into this event. This is the GEST Dota 2, and for this particular iteration of the GEST, it's going to be a very quick and dirty tournament. We start here today with the round of 16. We're going to cast 2 selected matches from that, both of them best out of 1 this game, and the one that comes next. And then after that, we move straight ahead into the round of 8. We cast 1 best of 1 from that, and then we go to the semifinals, which will be a best of 3. Tomorrow will be the grand final. So pretty much all of the action happens today. We're not the only stream covering the event. There are quite a few others. There will be a Dota TV ticket for this season. I don't know if it'll be available by today. I didn't actually see it in the store, but it should be available for future events. So I do apologize for anyone who is hoping to pick up a ticket, but it will be there in the future. Either way, you can at least watch on the stream today. And for those who want to watch in-game, we have enabled in-game spectators. So, Pyrian, if you haven't already done so, turn on your in-game mic.
I have already done so. I'm so professional.
Fantastic. So anyway, with all that being said, this is an early match in the single elimination tournament. We do expect Orange to have a hefty advantage, but you never know. Mineski could surprise us, and overall, I do like the way their draft started. They pick up the Darkseer, Creed of Pain, and Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon, a great counter to the Luna, obviously, because you get 2 Lunas that are going to hit extremely hard of your own with that aura. And of course, the Darkseer, good at late in the laning stage versus her. Creed of Pain does well against anything. So I think this is a pretty strong draft for them to start, but it's Orange. We still expect them to pretty much stomp this game.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Chen, interesting pick. I can never get going with this guy, but he seems to be one of those heroes that when he's picked by good competitive teams, he absolutely stomps. But yeah, Shadow Demon, probably the best support, would you say, in the game?
Yeah, well, he's up there. He's just so versatile. Who was I casting with? I think it was Cinder, and called him the Swiss Army knife of supports. And I thought it was perfect because he really can do it all. He's great in the laning stage. He's a great setup stun. He can provide some good anti-push with Shadow Poison. Demonic Purge counters everyone. Yes, even range carries, albeit to a lesser extent, especially those who are melee. He counters illusion carries. Disruption is a great defensive and offensive ability. Soul Catcher provides you with burst damage. So yeah, he really does it all. And by picking him up at any stage in the draft, you don't reveal anything, but you give yourself options, which is pretty much a win-win.
And you know, he hits really hard. His base damage, his starting base damage is really high. Like, it's higher than a lot of other heroes. So yeah, I thought that was helps with denies and stuff, I guess. Sand King ban? Are you kidding me? Oh, I really want to see some Sand King. That's sick.
You know who else is a big fan of Sand King? It's the Gun Run. He's I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he's like the chief tech guru for Twitch TV. Shout out to the Gun Run. Whenever he comes to the stream, doesn't matter if the game's already being played. It's either awesome Sand King or no Sand King. What the fuck? But no Sand King in this game.
By the way, the overlays. I talking to Mr. Max yesterday on Skype, and he showed me some of these overlays of yours, and now I'm seeing them in action. They are nice, aren't they? Yeah,
big shout out to Max. This one he just finished putting together. I think it's pretty much perfect. Maybe we have a few slight tweaks, but he is working tirelessly on our behalf. Yes, we are paying him, not as much as we would like to, but as much as we can afford for now, and hopefully someday he'll be filthy rich driving a Lamborghini because he deserves it. He does some great work, and I mean, yeah, it's pretty sexy overlay. If I could have sex with it, I probably would. I can only look at it longingly, though.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, the only thing is it does say Miniskai Les Pinas. You're missing out the whole Spiratus, which probably means squid.
It does. Right? It does cut off the squid part. That's something that we'll have to talk about.
It cuts off the squid parts.
I'm actually going to message him right now, but well, that's so I don't forget. But before I do that, quickly, let's look at what Orange has drafted. So they've gone for the Luna. That'll be Mushi's here. He's been playing the safe lane role. He doesn't go mid anymore for Orange. They are playing with Ohio this game. They're playing with the full roster, which is good to see because Orange is a team. They go through these periods where Mushi decides he just wants to coach. He doesn't want to play full time, and they're currently in the upswing. They're playing actively. They're playing with their full five, and we're not seeing Mushi coaching or anything like that. So the Extinct for Chen, the Luna for Mushi, the Rubik most likely for Extinct, which means we still need Net's hard support, and we need KYXY's offlaner. And as we can see, all of KYXY's offlaners were getting banned. The Prophet and the Lone Druid. There are, I'm trying to think who else is left, but there's nothing that he really loves to play remaining in the pool.
Do you suppose that the reason that the teams are starting to sort of rearrange their rosters and really start playing is because of TI3? Like it is like what 5-6 months away, but you got to start thinking about it, no?
Yeah, well, TI3 invites, I believe last year they went out like towards the end of March, beginning of April. So yeah, in the next month or so, in a month or so, it will have been a year since they started to go out. And that DK received the first invite, I believe Navi the second one. And of course, those were sort of de facto invites just because DK had been by far the best team in China at that point. They were easily the best Chinese team in 2011. They were just completely dominant. So no surprise they got invited. This year, obviously, we expect to see IG and probably Navi get invites fairly early as they were the two top finishers. Navi, the core mostly intact, although not entirely. And yeah, I mean, TI3 invites definitely something they want to look at. I would say Orange have a very strong chance of getting one. Because if you're Valve, you probably want to have at least a few representatives from each region, irrespective of skill. And when it comes to skill, well, Orange have that too. So given the state of Southeast Asia, where basically the scene's in disarray right now, Zenith has not really shown much as of late. Myth Trust has been up and down and unpredictable. MUFC disbanded and may or may not be in the process of reforming. Orange is the closest thing that Southeast Asia has to a stable team, and even they had some recent roster changes. So I would say they're all but guaranteed an invite. But that being said, you gotta play reasonably well to secure one for sure.
I'm disappointed with the Shadow Shaman pick purely because they had 4 heroes with popped collars, and I thought they'd go for the 5th. But Shadow Shaman has no popped collar, unlike Rubik, Luna, Chen, and Pugna. They were perfect up to that point, LD.
Yeah, the pop collar. I mean, he really needs the double polo though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Actually, that's literally the entire team of pop collars. Why does everybody have a pop collar? Now that I'm looking around, even I guess Darkseer has like a flap that functions as a pop collar around the outskirts of his face, and then
Shadow Demon has huge teeth to act. I mean, his pop collar is the biggest popped collar of all. Rubik's trying to outdo him because his collar's so popped it comes up over his head. But I mean, Jakiro, I guess he's saving on collars. He'd need 2 collars. Same little bit there. Anti-Mage, I think it's good. Talking about the pop collar strategy is what people tune in for.
Well, if it's popped collars that are going to win this game, then you got to say that the Dire have the big advantage. They probably have the advantage in other departments as well. So with that being said, let's introduce our teams on the Dire side. In the top right corner, we have RG Sports Ohio going mid as his Pugna. Yet again, and it's looking like a big push strat from Orange. They have the pushing carry for Mushi and the Luna. Once he hits level 7, you can go in 5-man. The pushing support for KYXY with the Shadow Shaman. So, interesting. They go for a KYXY Shadow Shaman. This is a very curious pick. We weren't really taking this draft seriously because we were mostly talking about popped collars, but it's now time to analyze how this lady stage is going to work, and they're obviously abandoning their offlane completely. Shadow Shaman's got to be in the jungle, doing some pulls, maybe doing some ganks as well. We're going to have Extinct on his signature Chen, so it's not going to be an Extinct Rubik like I thought it would be. And this is about as cheesy of a push strat as you can get. If the game goes late, Sparatus is going to be in fantastic shape. I call them Sparatus, but they are Mineski Las Pinos Sparatus?
Las Piñas Sparatus, I think, yeah.
Which I believe means squids. And
let's just call them the Squids.
We'll just call them the Squids. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and introduce the Squids.
Okay, on the Squids, on the Darks here, we got Why Not. He's just lurking top there, looking for the rune if it spawns top. What is this guy? Yeber, M-I-L-P? Anyway, he's on the Shadow Demon and he's looking at the bot rune. Emar is on the Anti-Mage. You got LLLL on the Jakiro. And mid, RGEE, or so RG or RG on the Quap. And off they go.
Yeah, so here we go. And of course, Mushi is an idol to a lot of these younger Filipino players, and they're promising to feed him. Look at this. They're throwing the game. I hope nobody's bet money on this. I sense some collusion here. Somebody report the Squids before it's too late. Halt the bets, return the funds. Invis room picked up by Jakiro. And away we go. This best of 1 is officially underway. And remember, this tournament is single elimination, so if Orange decides to mess around in a game, and throws it, picks something silly, and then doesn't execute, as strange as it might be, they could be knocked out early, but it's orange,
Wow.
so chances of that, very small. We'll see.
Invis Jakiro just coming around the side of Pugna here in mid. Maybe they're trying to set up an early gank?
Yeah, Ohio did have a ward top, so he has to know that the room was bottom, and he should be playing relatively defensively. They're now going to actually spot blue rotating into the lane. Start with the ice path. It will actually latch, but I don't think they're in range for any sort of follow-up. They're not. So a bit of wasted time here from the Squids. And back to the jungle they'll go, and yep, it's just orange. Totally abandoned the off lane. Just completely relying on the pulls to get their experience and levels. Something orange has been very good at as of late. They're very efficient with their pulling.
Why would you abandon the lane to anti-mage? I mean, that seems to me completely counterintuitive.
Well, because there weren't many offlaners left in the pool. Remember, the Darkseer was taken by the Squids,
Right.
the Prophet was banned, the Lone Druid was banned. These are the heroes that KOX normally plays. There was one other. Who was it? Oh, they banned.
Could they have taken Windrunner?
They
She would
could
have been
have,
a
but
pain
I mean,
against-
it's the other issue is that Orange really wants to go for a push strategy. They saw Spiratus, who have a lot of mid game, a lot of late game potential. If they get their core items and levels up, it's going to be very hard to 5-man against them because they'll always be able to split push out the lane. So the solution that they've come up with is we want to pick a support who can push. Shadow Shaman is that support. Drop the wards, get a tower, rinse and repeat. That's going to be the plan for them. So I think the way the draft developed, Orange just looked at it and said, we're not really going to win this late game. We've already picked our carry. It's not going to outcarry an anti-mage, Queen of Pain, Darkseer. So instead, we're just going to rely on a timing push in the mid game, and they do have a fearsome timing push.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, even a hero
That
like
is-
Pugna
yeah.
is a great pushing hero.
Yeah.
Not only Nether Blast, but also the Nether Ward. Very strong against this lineup.
And Chen's little animal army, and of course the wards from Shadow Shaman.
It's
So
the
yeah,
zoo.
crazy.
It's the zoo.
The zoo, yeah.
Extinct up to his usual tricks. He's very good about... I mean, the efficiency of Orange in the jungle really cannot be overstated. The supports are always stacking and pulling as efficiently as possible. When Extinct is playing Chen, he's always making sure to farm stacked creeps with the Wildkin Tornado. Also, he always gets Wildkins, which I call hacks on.
Yeah.
But when he gets them, he makes full use of them. That's for damn
Yeah.
sure.
Tornado casting bird bastards. Gotta hate them. Yeah, this is. I mean, these guys. They've stacked pretty much every camp. It's gross. You do that.
It is, but they are giving up a lot. They're giving away free farm to an anti-mage who is going to get a tier 1 very early. He will secure the last hit. Important that you get that hit. And
3-minute T1. So yeah, and this is the team that didn't go for the crazy push strat. So interesting.
sometimes it's a bad idea to push this lane early because your opponent can just send their offlaner to get some free experience safe near the tier 2. But in this game, if you look at Orange's lineup, there's nobody who can just stand here in the lane safely. At least not as long as the Shadow Demon and Anti-Mage are here. If Rasta or the Shadow Shaman just comes down, AM could probably kill him. So getting that early tower, not necessarily the worst thing in the world. And they get the extra gold, and it looks like they're going to pull the lane and draw it back a bit now. So
Have a look. Queen of Pain didn't seem to go for the 2-minute rune. It'll be interesting to see if she goes for the 4-minute. She didn't even attempt to get it. Just sort of let it go.
Well, the issue is when you're laning against Pugna. Pugna can outpush pretty much anyone. So if you go to get the rune, that means you're missing a lot of experience in the lane. I didn't actually see what happened. I was checking the bottom lane, I think, at the time. But sometimes it's worth just forfeiting the rune. If it's something like an illusion, it's not the biggest deal in the world.
I can't actually set my camera controls to look at your view, so I'm having to mosey around by myself.
I'm currently at mid, but it looks like Arge is going to start pushing top, potentially. No, maybe not yet. Really what they want to do is get level 5 on the Chen at the least, and then they can start going for a push top. Spiratus, the Squids actually have some decent AoE. They have Darkseer, who's up to level 4. He's jungling quite efficiently. He already has Soul Ring and Clarity. He's going to have to go heal now, but overall, or at least Fairy out of Sal, but his jungling has been pretty efficient. They can defend this push at the tier 2, I think, if they just throw everything towards the top lane, because Mushi's not level 6
Have a look at Chen here coming round. Have a look at Chen here coming round. They're looking to this tier 1 top. They're going to try and catch a Chikiro out here, I think.
Telekinesis will spell his doom. Oh, maybe not. There's the disruption to start. The Centaur looking to kill off the Chikiro. Chikiro will fall. He tried to save it with a defensive disruption. Not going to happen. First blood for Mushi. Anti-Mage joins the fight. No level 6 hit on Mushi, but Anti-Mage coming to the fight very early on in the game. Normally, you just want to see him farming and sitting back. Shadow Strike on Mushi. Queen of Pain will blink forward in a second, I think. Looking for the Scream. Throws the ult. Where's the Scream? Catches 2. RG delivers a double kill, but gets sacked down as a response. 5 kills already. And Orange, well, giving up a kill on Mushi, not something they're going to be happy about. 2 for 2, but they got the 2 cores on the Squids in response. So overall, a win for Orange, and the tier 1 likely to fall top. Plus, Anti-Mage is not farming during this time, so the Squids look good for them.
Anti-Mage and Quap. Interesting, the Anti-Mage TP'd right on top of the tower into 3. I thought that was kind of a surprise. I thought he might have gone back, TP'd into the tier 2, but decided to man up and get right in there. But yeah, paid the ultimate price.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone for more of a combat build because he's leveling up Mana Break. He's not taking points in Blink early or stats, which is what you normally do if you just want to farm. I expect we'll see the Vanguard. He's already completed the Poor Man's Shield. Or not the Vanguard, sorry, the Battle Fury. We never really see the Vanguard nowadays anymore. And, well, that really hurts because they got the early tier 1. He was CSing about as well as Mushi, but with that death, he's going to start to fall behind, and he should be ahead. This lineup for the Squids is really going to rely on their ability to split push in the mid game to slow Orange down. And giving up deaths like that delays your split push.
They couldn't give up towers to a push lineup. Like they need to take the team fights and try and whip them into shape. But maybe they figured, like, if it's not going to go to the late game because they've taken a push strat, why would you just leave Anti-Mage to farm?
Oh, this is classic Orange bottom lane. Up, it's going to blink away. It's typical Orange, though. They love to rotate Net or Extinct to the whoever's playing sort of that like playmaking support, like the Rubik, the Shadow Demon. Once the tier 1 drops in the bottom lane or the off lane, they'll just send the support there and farm by himself. It's a little bit greedy because you can look to punish that, and well, they're not able to get the kill there in this case.
It's a nice idea because especially if the supports have had to be stacking. And by the way, they're going for the same. They're going for a smoke gang top. Luna and well, you got Mushi and who is that? Is that XY?
Extinct and KYXY, and here we go. Uh-oh.
Oh, poor Jakiro! Holy moly! The new Ether Shock effect for Shadow Shaman is so awesome.
Yeah, they've been improving all like the lightning and laser spells a lot.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you saw, someone was pointing out to me yesterday, the new Maelstrom is really cool.
Yes.
It does a lot of damage as well. Oh, not damage, but like it looks more explosive. It like feels like you're being roasted every time you see the lightning.
I wonder if it's going to encourage people to play these heroes more because it feels like you're doing more damage. Because Ether Shock before was kind of pathetic, little sort of felt like a static shot, whereas now it looks more like someone's like unleashing elemental fury on you.
Yeah, Emperor Palpatine style or something like that.
And now, young Skywalker, you will die.
No!
Father, I sense the good in you.
There is no good in me.
Nothing can stop that now. God damn, what a great series of movies they ruined. I'm actually really looking forward to the Disney versions. Am I alone in that? I think they're going to be awesome.
They can't fuck it up any worse. Like, it's not possible any worse than they did. I thought the third one wasn't that bad except for, like, everything involving Anakin, but...
It was that bad. It was that bad.
The problem was everything involved Anakin.
We were so upset by the first two that the third one seemed good, but it was bloody awful. Look at this, they're gonna lose a tier 1 mid here.
Yeah, they're trading a tier 1 mid for a tier 1 bottom. And generally you would say this favors the Radiant, assuming they get the trade, which they should. Anti-Mage looking for the last hit, will find it. And now, oh, Hex, no, shackled up, now Hex, hexed up, now shackled up. There's the disruption. I have no idea what spells are being used in this game.
Shock?
Apparently, damn, it does a lot of damage. Ohio doing work, hasn't got the kill just yet. We'd have paid all the chase, suddenly, Net in trouble. Or maybe not.
That Ether Shock, you can't get enough of that spell, just waiting for him to cast it. These are some good fights.
Look at the balls on Net. Just this support Rubik just strutting around, blinking away. Oh boy, that's cheeky.
Nice. And they've got a Net on Anti-Mage here.
Oh,
he's in big trouble.
And that's not something you expect, but Orange do have a lot of ways to do with Anti-Mage. They have Shackle, Hex, Telekinesis Lift, and some good burst damage. It's actually quite hard for this AM to escape, and that's one of the big benefits of Shadow Shaman is he's great against those blinking carries.
Yeah, this Chen, I tell you, this Chen. Look at this. Look at the army he's got now. He's got the Centaur, he's got the Satyr Tormentor, and he's got the Troll dude who throws nets at you. Terrifying. They never seem to raise the skeletons up. The skeletons are the best thing that he does. I love those little guys.
You know, I'm trying to think of what the term is. Oh, they're going to go in now. Dark's here in a lot of trouble. There's your Eclipse from the back lines. Comes Mushi. Queen of Pain ult hits 3, but doesn't even matter. Hand of God, the reply, and back they'll go. Buyback from the Darkseer, but to what end? What can he actually do? He's got a level 1 wall. He hasn't even maxed his Ion Shell, let alone his Vacuum. He's so desperate to deal with the push coming their way. But without the Queen of Pain ult, they are lacking AoE. And AoE they do have is mostly, more or less negated by the mech that's coming now. And the Hand of God they already have. The wards get dropped. So anyway, this is the... What is the name for the strategy? It's like the orange has to win the game in 20 minutes or less strat. They've done it at least 3 or 4 times now. I think it's their way of just quickly grinding through these, these smaller cups and tournaments. Just get to the prize money as quickly as possible. We've got an important date in the casino.
Yeah, exactly. If you know you're good, then why not try and win it quick and get on with your life? I guess is the I have a date strat, something like that.
Yeah, I have a very important date, and it's not a squid. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. At the moment, it's looking pretty rough for the Squids. They've got Anti-Mage trying to get some farm, but if he's not careful, nope, they're going to leave him to it. I guess they figure, let's go get Roshan instead.
Yeah, and Anti-Mage went back for the power treads, and he needs every bit of HP just because we saw what happened when he gets shackled, he gets hexed, he will drop. But the solution to this is really not to go treads fast. It's, well, first of all, not to TP to the fights at 4 minutes in the game, and secondly, not to level up Mono Burn. This is a recurring theme in Southeast Asian Dota, and it's just bad play, honestly. It's less efficient play. You're much better off if you're going to play Anti-Mage, and you're not building something like a Vanguard, and you're going for a Battle Fury. You must level up stats when you're up against this many stuns, this many nukes. Otherwise, you're just mincemeat, 1 disable, and you're dead.
Right.
And either that, or certainly don't come to the fight, so just not an ideal skill build. And also Orange just picking a good lineup to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, Orange have got the jungle warded, so they could probably try and catch him here. It looks like they're going to go for it. I don't think any of them. Well, no, they've got smoke. Chen's got smoke. I don't know if they need it. They're just going to try and net him. And as he said, they've got so many ways to disable him. But I guess Chen's just going to go and take their jungle instead.
I want to point out this Chen is the 3rd highest farmer in the game, above the Queen of Pain and the Anti-Mage on the enemy team. Most of that comes in the form of tower gold, but he's also 5-0-2. Typical Extinct, really.
Yeah, crazy. Just crazy. How do you get 5 kills as Chen? He's one of those heroes. There was a video about how to play Chen, and you need 4 hands apparently to play him effectively if you're a scrub like me. But yeah.
Jim and Nathan do the game song.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was really good. Yeah. Where he says like, and now for your top row of skills, and then an extra hand just comes in, and yeah, it was good.
Almost as good as the APM cam where you're pressing one button.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh boy. So Orange in firm control of this game. Now they start pushing the tier 2 bottom, and the problem
it's not looking good.
The problem for the Squids is they needed to get their split push going. When you're up against this kind of a 5-man push, the only way to deal with it is either to have a really good turtling lineup, like heroes like Phantom Lancer, Keeper of the Light, Magnus, these sorts of heroes that can just jump your opponents and win a 5v5. Or, in this case, they went split push and they had to farm their core items quickly. They couldn't afford to give up kills because doing so means trading is good for Orange in the early game because it means that the carries are not getting the items like the Battle Fury up quickly, maybe the BKB for the Queen of Pain. So yeah, now they're in trouble. Vacuum into the wall, catches quite a few, but realistically, Mech, Hand of God are there, and they'll just reset,
so much
reload.
Healing. Look at this. The only person who looks like they've taken any damage now is Rubik. All the rest of them are at full health even after that. That was a nice little combo, but yeah, nothing. Scary stuff.
I would really like to see an urn. That's the only mistake I can really point to for Oranges. They should have an urn if they're going for the strategy, but otherwise they're fine. And well, yeah, Anti-Mage will push the Luna back for the moment, but it does seem like it's only a moment.
Yeah, it's not. It's really. I mean, if they're already starting to push into their tier 3. Yeah, it's not looking good. 14 minutes. I think we could be looking at a sub 25-minute game here if Orange. There's a smoke gank coming in from the Squids though. See if they can catch. Maybe they're going to try and catch his Pugna.
Yeah.
Oh, nice 4-star away. Shadow Demon was winding up for the disruption. That was really nice.
Yeah, 4 staffs away just in the nick of time. I was trying to figure out who you were talking about for a second. Oh, there's net number 1. This could be a bit of a pickle for the Squid. Blink was stolen. And that's the other annoying thing, is they have a free Blink Dagger on the Rubik, and that's, well, big trouble. Jakiro jumps in the middle of a few. Is he gonna to fight? Oh, I don't know about this engagement.
Yeah, this is no good. Oh, both the supports drop. He's the shock.
Run, little squid chicken. Run, little squid chicken. Oh.
There's nothing better than a surged chicken. That's my favorite thing. When you see the Darkseer surge and then turn into a chicken, that's the best.
Well, Orange really hungry. They've got to get to. They need their dinner. Apparently, they're dining on squid today. I've never eaten it. Well, I've eaten it once and I didn't like it, but
Yeah,
I've never eaten it again since then.
I think if you have bad squid, it'll put you off it forever. But good.
I had really bad sushi yesterday. I was puking my brains out.
Oh man.
Yeah. It tasted good going down. Did not taste good going back.
Details.
Oh, look at that Pugna Ward just ruining the darks here. Casts a vacuum, drops the wall, dies almost instantly. Pugna's Ward, really one of the best pushing skills in the game. So underrated.
Because if you come to defend and you drop your spells, I mean, he would be great for going uphill. If you're worried about your Magnus and your Darkseer and everything and your Cockle, drop that ward and just, god damn, you can't do anything. Again, I think they might get the Shadow Demon. No. What did he steal? What did he steal?
Shadow Strike. Best spell ever. Well, it should be enough anyway.
I think this is GG.
Yeah.
Well, let's put up a fight early. There were a couple of decent engagements, but as you said, the anti-mage, I think the problem was, and I always get this when I play the Agi carry, there's a fight, and I fall back to my roots of playing a support and think, I should be there, and I rush to help. Everyone's like, what are you doing here? You should be farming. And then, of course, the enemy team's carry comes steaming out of out of lane or out of jungle, fully farmed after 25 minutes, and I'm still just working on my boots too. So yeah, it was. He didn't get much farm. What's he got? Well, he's got treads. And perseverance. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't pin it all on the anti-mage, but he was given free farm. He got a really early tier 1. They may have lost the game anyway, just because the push timing for Orange was going to be so incredibly strong, especially because they're on the dire side and they could easily get Roche, which means Luna has an Aegis. Luna has 2 lives to throw away, and all their heroes are perfectly suited for pushing. But that being said, if Anti-Mage had just gotten the tier 1, stayed bottom with his free farm, gone for the Battle Fury, could have had it by around 11 minutes or so, especially if he had gone Burning Build. He may not have died in a few cases. It would have at least dragged the game out. Whether they would have been able to win off of that, hard to say. Probably not anyway, just because Orange would likely outplay them in the team fights. But, you know, you have to have faith in the strategy. They picked the split push lineup, then they tried to play it as a 5-man fighting squad, and, you know, that's just a conflict of interest, basically.
Yeah, Orange now pushing the T2 in the top lane, force the anti-mage to blink away. He's going to go farm in the jungle, but yeah, as you said, you can't pin it on him, and I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying that I think as a strategy against such aggressive pushing, they picked the anti-mage last as well. I'm not sure it was such a great pick.
Comes the backstab from Darkseer again, so cheeky with this. Oh, Eclipse catches 2, doing lots of damage. That's a level 2 Eclipse.
Damn.
That's a 2 dead heroes.
Poor old Darkseer was being beaten up by a bunch of monsters in the woods. Is there anything more terrifying?
Why can't I draw? Oh, there we go. Now let's me draw.
Top tower has fallen.
Draw a little. There we go.
That's how I feel about the Squids right now.
That's how they feel too. I'm sure that is a pretty depressing looking smiley face as well.
I think if you make the eyes longer, it makes it more depressing.
It looks like tears.
It's like the longest tears you'll ever see. Oh boy, it's a sad game for the Squids. We may have to play some Olots for them after the game, but I mean, it's Orange. The unfortunate thing about this format is if you get matched up against Orange in the single elimination best of 1, you basically know you're going home if you're a team like the Squids, and
yeah, it sucks.
You know, it sucks because they worked hard to get here. They went all the way through the qualifiers in the Philippines. And, well, the good news for the Filipinos out there is there are 4 Filipino teams in this tournament, and some of them are quite a bit more experienced in Dota 2. Can any of them beat Orange? Well, it's going to be tough, but they'll certainly have a better shot of it than the Squids, I think. Teams like Mineski as well as MSI Evo GT. So, Pyrian, the popped collars prevail.
Yeah, that's popped collar strats. You don't even need 5. Apparently 4 is sufficient.
Well, Rubik's pop collar is so long that it's like a double pop. As is Pugna's.
The tail of his cloak is popped. Everything about him is popped. Look at it. It curls up there just like a kind of a popped tail as well.
Pop, 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 pop. Here comes the fountain popping. Jakiro's gonna pop. Next in line should be these supports. Down to him will throw his ult onto Ohio, who's just manning up life draining while the anti-mage feebly slings a few auto attacks at him. Not often you see a Pugna just tanking AM's auto attacks like that and completely fine, but
and Queen of Pain basically did nothing. Like she's meant to be this crazy damage dealer, but her screams seem to do very little in any fight. I think because Hand of God, mech, and everything else is just, yeah, she's not the force she should be.
I mean, they are up 28k gold, so that meant Rasta 3 position, but basically jungle Rasta ahead, so an Aghanim's at 20 minutes. That'll do the trick in a pinch.
Oh man, yeah, that was a stomp. 20 minutes. Whoever said 20 minutes was right. Someone in the chat said 20-minute game, and they were spot
It's the
on.
20-minute strategy.